Good morning, 9 o'clock, and it's April 25th. This is the Cemetery Trustees annual walkthrough of all of our cemeteries, and we're going to be starting now. So let's do it, people. All right, so we talked about fixing Fred.
We've noted this
and
base needs to be
Marshall
fixed.
Plot, the mother and father are kind of teetering there.
Yep, another base that needs to be fixed.
They'll do a cleanup. It's too early yet. Yeah. When they mow, before they mow, they'll come and pick up all the bigger branches.
They do the mowing weekly in the summer?
Yeah, they keep it up really well. That's one thing that's... I think this is the tree we noted last time. That really should get cut down. It's just, there. That there. That was on our list from last year.
The fence or the tree?
The rock's
wall.
falling in, yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but that really is getting worse, evidently.
Okay. And is this is our fence, the chain link fence?
Yes, I believe it is.
And this rock fence might be...
Oh, that's the original cemetery fence.
So that's our fence as well?
It is our fence as well, so we do have to... This fellow here used to be the DPW chief, so... But that's recent. I don't know what happened, it just fell over.
And the stones that are leaning over, we usually don't mess with those unless they're fully fallen.
Unless there's a real problem.
These empty pots and things, should those be disposed of?
Well, in particular, this plot, the family, in fact, the last I knew, the family had somebody coming in and doing their own mowing and maintaining. Mm-hmm. So in this case, they'll take those pots and put some fresh flowers because they're always on this. So
good.
But normally I don't mess with the things people have left. Oh, let's take a look at this.
Yeah, this looks like it's being held up by a rock.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It's pretty sturdy.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And that's really not high priority. Does need to be cleaned though.
Yeah.
See, now here's one where they did a repair at one time. You can see.
Oh, that one looks nice.
They put the cement. That stuff is very expensive, but we do have money for them to buy that. So, but that's the kind of thing they do on some of these. So,
this is
Joseph Fuller.
Okay, but it's
yeah. I don't know what you do about that one. It needs a whole new base.
Yeah. Some dirt or something underneath it.
Something.
Should I note it or?
Yeah. Why don't you note it and then. They did a lot of work here. There were bushes all over this, basically hiding some of these headstones. And I did have a request from a family that wanted us to trim them back because they couldn't do it anymore. So they really did a great job here, cleaned it all up. This had sort of a fake edging around it that was made out of railroad ties or something, so they took that out so it looks much better.
Yeah.
It was falling over and rotting out and everything else. This is another one. You can see how big the bushes were by the size of the bases.
Stumps, yeah.
Yeah. They just, they get planted and in this cemetery not a lot of maintenance was done for a long time. The way the state law reads is if the trustees of a private cemetery can no longer maintain the cemetery in the town of Hudson, then the town has to take it over. So we did.
Thoughts on this bush?
Oh, what's going on with this one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe.
Cut it back?
Yeah. Because at the rate it's going, it will eventually be covering this up. I think this is fairly recent, 2005.
Back right.
I'm not really sure what happened here, but I think this was the original stone, and the family put another one, which is fine. but this is kind of a problem and needs to be, they need to just set that government one down in so that it's not sitting up like that. If you were never in this cemetery, you wouldn't know, but those bushes were huge. They covered everything, and there's all kinds of, there aren't any new headstones in there, but there are footstones. It's a family was buried in there, so now you can actually get in there and see the headstones and all the rest of the plot. They did a great job on that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yep. I think we'll just keep an eye on this one. The family maintains this just to make sure that it doesn't, it's getting pretty tall. We'll just keep an eye on that one.
Yep.
I think they probably need to trim all that back somehow. I don't know. It just is getting unruly. Yeah, I don't know what these are. This is some...
That's part of the
It's
that
probably
plant.
part of the plant.
Yeah. It's last year's growth that died.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I think the only section we really haven't looked at is just right here.
Mm-hmm.
See all this stuff, baby Gary, that was all totally obscured. You could just barely see that, so that was a lot of work. This one here,
It's beautiful.
that looks
new.
brand new. But it's not, well, somebody cleaned this. Now, the only thing is, you have to be really careful about what you use to clean these. And we really appreciate people cleaning, but they should consult, they're supposed to tell us before they go in and do this, because in some cases, cleaning it with the wrong material opens the pores up on this and makes it worse in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little worried about this one, but it looks nice. Somebody was doing a good job.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, if you want to clean stones in the Hudson's town cemeteries, please contact us through our webpage on the town webpage and just let us know what you want to do and what kind of cleaning materials you're going to use. Mel Gannon will be conducting another class to teach people how to properly clean the headstones. There's also on our Facebook page, the Town of Hudson Cemetery Trustees Facebook page, there's a video that Mel provided of a guy that shows exactly what to do when you want to clean headstones. So that's a good resource for folks. Somebody must have liked gardening. What's this here? This one's kind of a mess. Oh, I see.
Yeah, when the DPW does their first cleanup, I'm sure they'll take care of some of this.
Some of this, yeah. What's this? Oh, I see, this was standing there and it broke. That's the only problem. These things get stepped on or
Yep.
knocked over. Yeah, there's a lot of... Trees are old. They shed. I think we're good in this cemetery.
All right.
Okay, so from here, let's go down that way. Keep following Central around and go to Old Center, right behind Cahill's. All right, we're at Old Center. This was once the center of town, I guess. I don't know where the top of this went. I don't feel like it was like this previously, but it's gone wherever it went. But this flag is in trouble. These are pretty much as they've been. I don't see anything new. There's one stone, I believe it's that one over there, we got to get cleaned. It's really bad.
These all could use a cleaning,
Yeah.
but they're all pretty frail, it looks like as well.
So the one over there, you can't even read it anymore, and you could a few years ago when I first started. So I don't know what that flag is doing all the way down there, but I'll go get it. See, Dan, this is an example of when they put side rails on this.
Yeah,
because
I saw another one over here with that.
Yeah, see, it isn't sticking too well to the base.
Right.
So they put side rails on, and that keeps it from moving around.
Right.
I don't see anything else here, do you?
What was that one? It needs to be said.
That is just, I was just showing him about side rails.
Oh, okay.
That's all, so.
I don't think there's anything to note here.
Nope.
Unless you
No,
see
really,
something.
it's just that needs cleaning, and maybe I'll ask Mel to have her class over here.
I think that'd
Be a
be
good idea. Yeah.
good.
All right, that does it for Old Center. Oh, I should point out that's the Tenney tomb across the street. John Tenney, I believe, is buried in there. It is now locked. At some point, people got in there, and I guess it's kind of a mess. But
Well, should we cross here and just take a look at it on the way out?
you're looking at it right
Okay.
there, so you can't
All
go
right.
in. So I'm not sure I'd want to go in, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But he is a veteran. That's why there's a flag there.
Okay.
All right. All right, so this is Westview Cemetery. This is a private cemetery, and it's maintained by the trustees. However, over here is a small area on the maps that's indicated as belonging to the town of Hudson. So we're just checking that out, particularly for our new member, so he knows where it is. This plot shows on the maps as being a town plot. There's one person buried here, and I don't know who maintains it, but somebody maintains it quite nicely. They come over and they put things up there. And Greece Across America always puts a wreath there because on our map it says, right next to it says VFW. So we err on the side of caution, so we're assuming he's a veteran. There's no indication, but at any rate, this apparently is town. I don't know how many plots are supposedly here, but this is town. That stone has nothing to do with this cemetery, and Ruth Parker has done a lot of research. She thinks somebody took it from another cemetery and then felt bad about it and took it and left it here. She's tried to track down this person, so it's a kid, so I don't know, but that's been there for quite a while. And that's it for this particular plot. The rest of it is all Westview Cemetery has trustees, and they maintain the cemetery. And they do let us have Wreaths Across America come in and place flags and put the wreaths on it. That's it for Westview. Okay, now we're at Blodgett Cemetery, which is another town cemetery. It's very old, a lot of Blodgetts in here, so that's hence the name. So let's get a start on it. The wall, I should mention, this wall is scheduled to be taken care of. It's a mess.
Okay.
And I've got to follow up with DPW because I want to find out. We decided on a contractor, and I don't know what the next step is in order to get that contract, let and have the people come and fix it because it's getting worse. So the same company is going to do this as did that wall over at Old Center. They did a nice job over there. So, all right.
I noted this.
Yes, that's new.
Yep. Fallen stone.
Okay. All right. Let's just walk to the back and come back.
Sure. I'll just go over what we had from last
Okay.
year. Trim plant bush on right side of cemetery rear wall.
Yeah, that's over there.
Okay. You mentioned side rails for Captain Solomon Chase.
Right.
Side rails for Wynn, near Chase in the family plot.
Okay. Oh,
Repair
wind.
the wall, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Trim back large pine overgrowing over wall on far side.
Okay.
Joseph Bradley Jr. laying on the ground.
Oh, yes,
needs
he's
to be
over
lifted.
there. Yeah, he's over there.
Animal hole near the
I
stone.
think they did something with that, but we'll see.
Davis stone slanting needs straightened under the tree.
Oh. Is this it?
And Harry C. Greeley, plot 62, stone is very loose.
Okay. I might as well head to the back and then come up. Was there anything on there along the Pelham Road side that
Yeah, the
needed-
Pelham Road wall needs to be repaired.
Yeah, that we're gonna do. Well, when they do that, they'll fix with that tree. This
looks like it's a base.
it's a base from someplace, but I don't know where. All the Joseph Blodgetts. There are 5 Joseph Blodgetts in this cemetery.
I don't
And,
know about these The fence here, that small metal fence, there's a lot of broken parts here.
Yes, and you can note it. He was trying to find, I know Jason at DPW was going to try and find, get some, maybe the welding students at CTE at Elverin to see if they could fix that.
Okay.
So, all right.
Noted.
Over here is the gentleman whose stone is on the ground, in the ground. Yeah, this really needs to get fixed because eventually it's just going to disappear. Joseph Bradley Jr. I wonder if that's his base over there. 1791. He's been here a while and I don't want him to disappear.
Yeah, the ground will overtake that.
Yes, and the thing is, every time they come here and mow, it's getting worse. So,
DPW dig it up?
well, they'll have to. That's what they'll have to do. They have to get it up, and they could see whether that base over there actually belongs to that. It's similar color,
Get a picture of that base.
that's possible. All right, so over there, they are gonna, when they do that wall, they're gonna. But Dan, if you could take a picture of that one.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, the wall's falling apart over here.
Thank you. Yeah, that they're supposed to pick up some of those stones that are toppling off. I would get the map out to try and find some of these people, but I'll be honest with you, it's very confusing. I'll show you later the maps. It's like, you go crazy trying to figure out. So what is this?
Oh, that looks like a stone.
This is some kind of stone.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Has that got anything on it, or was it? Maybe it was the top of a stone, base of a stone. That's a nice piece of.
It's a nice piece. You could make a nice stone out of that.
Yes, it would. So there's that tree that needs to be cut back. That pine tree right there.
This?
Yeah. See, what's happening is the trees, like a lot of this is just they shed their branches and it falls on the wall and breaks it up.
Right.
Okay.
I think I saw a stone. Oh, these two stones are leaning against each other.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what we can. Boy, those are in there too, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think we might just leave them alone.
Okay.
This one, though, Abba Wynn. That's troubling. They either need to put some more cement or maybe some side rails on her. And there's Solomon Chase right behind it, and he still needs side rails. Right there. Yeah, see, we do sometimes get kids in here or whoever, and sometimes they will vandalize. They don't do a lot. There's not, thank goodness, much vandal activity in our cemeteries, but that one there is ripe for, that needs to be definitely had its side rails. And that one's not in great shape either. So those two were on our list.
Yep.
Okay, so we got the pine tree we need to just cut back. That's no big deal. There's one. See that?
This is just a base, maybe.
Yeah, this is like
similar.
a footstone. See, this is what
But
somebody's.
there's no
Yeah, that's a footstone.
no writing in it.
No, that would be a foot. See, it's supposed to go in there, in that spot. Somebody.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. Somebody must have kicked it over or whatever.
Yes.
I'm going to run back and see if that critter hole is filled in or if he's come back again.
Okay.
I'll be back. You can see what you can see here. Yeah, they filled that in really good. And whatever dug the hole is not back. So what's going on here? That's a footstone. That's a footstone. Yeah. LH. Who's the?
Yeah.
Looks like it's there's an H last name.
Yeah. See, there's probably was a headstone there at one time. Oy.
Noted.
Anything else? Oh, what's going on over here with this? Oh yeah, there's something going. This
That could use some dirt, Melvin.
Melvin, this it almost looks like somebody's been pushing on it or something. I don't know, but they need to. That really needs to be shored up, or else somebody is going to topple it over. All right.
Good.
We're good. As you can see the kids, when they wanted to come in, they didn't want to walk all the way to the entrance, so they knocked all that down. So, all right, so that's it for Blodgett. We're going to go to Ford Cemetery. This, I think, may be the oldest Ford. The original town meeting house for Hudson was someplace over in that direction, down that way. I think there's a marker. At any rate, so this is Ford Cemetery, and let's see what we had.
Overhanging foliage on the back side wall.
Okay.
Broken stone to the right of Tobias Cornell.
Yeah.
Side rails and repair cement needed.
Okay.
And that was a priority.
Okay.
Catherine Hoffman, stone loose and twisted on its base.
Priority.
On right side as you come through the gate. Another priority.
Okay.
Stone with side rails on the ground next to Elvira, wife of Philip Palmer, also on the right side of the cemetery as you walk through the gate.
All right, let's start that way then. What's this one?
Was this one that was mentioned?
I don't know. Can you read the name? Oh, this is. What is the name? I don't know. That doesn't look recent.
Lucinda.
Lucinda, she's not. Nope. All right. Oh, what's this? I think this is Elvira. I think.
Yes, Elvira still.
Yeah. So that one needs to be put right and secured so it doesn't fall over again. All right, here's Connell. Catherine. Okay, so broken stone to the right of Tobias Cornell, not Connell. Okay. What's this one?
This one could use some dirt underneath. Something at its base. David Clifford. Oh, David C. Ford.
Well, we're still looking for.
There's one that's broken. Right?
Yeah, Tobias Cornell. Broken stone to the right.
Yeah.
Side rails and. Yes, this is it here. This. Yes, that's her, Mother Mary. That's the one. So she's number 2 on the list.
So nothing.
Nothing has been done. That needs side rails and it needs cement. Okay, so we've gotten 2 of them. Yeah, something.
This is just a base that doesn't have anything.
People used to take headstones and use them for like benches and stuff. Okay.
Another base. Well.
Yeah.
LLB.
Another base with no headstone.
Well, it's not a base. It's a.
Oh.
It's a stone.
Footstone. What's written on it?
LLB.
LLB. Yeah, that's this one. It's a footstone for this. Barren. All right, the other thing I noted was along here, there's, when this foliage comes in, that's all bittersweet, I think. That all needs to be trimmed back. That was overhanging. All that right there next to that big tree. They just need to trim it. What else we got here? Okay, so we didn't find Catherine Hoffman, whose stone is loose and twisted on its base, someplace over on that side. Well, you know, it's a mess.
Annie Hoffman.
This is the Hoffmans. Oh, I think this is, yes, this is this stone. They put a new stone in.
Oh, okay.
That's what the deal is here. So whoever, the relatives, or somebody at some point put So this is just a remnant of that. That's her new headstone.
They just kept the original.
Yeah, but that's in the, so that's her infant son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over here is the father and son who were both killed by lightning as they slept in their beds.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And this,
Do we want them to fix that footstone as well?
I think I'd just leave that. It's not going anywhere. I'm wondering about this over here, though. This looks like this was the base for that. But boy, that one really is disappearing.
Could they dig it out, or it would
Well, that,
break?
I don't know. That's a good question because it's pretty far in there. We could ask them to look at it and see what they think.
Sure.
We're still looking for Catherine Hoffman, whose stone is supposedly loose and twisted on its base on the right side someplace. I'm a little worried about this. Well, it's pretty solid. I don't think it's going anywhere.
No.
All right. Where is this one that I said was twisted? Hey, maybe they
Loose and
did.
Twisted on its base.
That's
On the
possible.
right side
Because I don't see anything else that looks like we noted that one needs some dirt or something. Well, it doesn't jump out at me, so that's kind of good sign. I don't know why we, Dan, that one isn't on our list, but
Yep, Mary B.
Mary B.
Okay.
All right, so the next place we're going will be the Poor Farm, or the Cemetery of the Unknowns. We're at the Poor Farm, or the Cemetery of the Unknowns. This one is accessed through a right-of-way in a neighborhood. Last year, all of the foliage was so grown over it was tough to get down there. So DPW did come in here and cut that all back. So we're just going to take a quick look, and all it is a headstone. So what happened was they were building these houses around here, and they found that the poorhouse is over there, and all these people were buried without headstones. They did one of those ground radar things. There's at least 69 people buried here. It was a rough time back then when they, even if, people that were, when they came upon hard times, there was no welfare, I guess. Your welfare was that they made you work at the poor farm, and then you got a grave without a headstone. So anyways, the town of Hudson put this memorial, 62 it says here, nameless people buried here. It's either the Cemetery of the Unknown or the Poor Farm, whichever you want to call it. So this is it. DPW maintains it. They just have to mow.
Okay.
Okay. Wreaths Across America always puts a wreath here because kind of hard to believe out of 62 people there wasn't at least one veteran.
Should we ask them to cut back any of this overgrowth?
Yeah, we could. It is over. Yeah, we could. You want to take a picture of that? It is kind of, I didn't notice it before, but yeah, it's overgrowing the chain. That shouldn't be cut back. So they really got to do something about that section. Thank you for pointing that out. The only way you can really, aside from actually pulling them out by the roots, is you have to cut them down, and there's some kind of stuff you can paint on the stump, and that's it. You can't just
What's
spray
this, the
it.
bittersweet?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't just
it's the
spray it.
worst.
Yeah, everything's looking pretty good except for that problem with the overhanging brush, and now we're going to go to Center Burial Ground. Here we are at Center Burial Ground, Center Cemetery. This cemetery doesn't look like my ideal place to be buried, but it is what it is. And it doesn't get a lot of love. There are some problems in here, so Dan will be writing like crazy and taking pictures. So
That's
let's
right.
get going. This wall, while not terrible, we could probably, DPW probably could just put some of those stones up. So we ought to note that again. I did tell them last year that it needed a little work.
From last year, we have leaning broken stone behind Deacon Thomas Center.
Okay.
Could be a footstone. Lucy, wife of Greeley, has side rails but
Yes.
needs more cement repair.
Yep.
John and Daisy Greeley stones need more cement repair. George F. Farley, leaning badly, maybe side rails.
Okay.
And center stone on the ground at the far end of the cemetery, just behind the plaque in memory of John Center
Yes.
and his wife, needs to get lifted before it disappears.
Okay, so let's just go up. They are sort of in rows. This is very rocky ground. According to Dave Alconis, a lot of the headstones were originally wood, so they've disappeared. So, all right, so the leaning broken stone, oh, must be that.
Yeah.
And it really has broken, hasn't it? Yeah, it just cracked off. That's most likely a footstone. And it could be repaired. It's not highest priority.
Okay.
I don't know
Noted.
how this got back here. This is supposed to be out there, and I don't know what somebody moved. It must have blown over or something. Yeah, that's where it usually is. Up here are these ones that are.
This was probably Lucy. Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah, she needs more something. More cement. The weather is probably not very kind up here to these stones. See, it's already offsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad. Okay. Okay, here's George Farley, and he needs to be straightened up. And then these two here have got nice side rails, but there's a lot of missing cement here. Same thing with this one here. It's kind of cracked. Probably a footstone. Probably a footstone. Yeah, see this guy here is. If they can put some more cement in here, it would keep it from deteriorating further. These walls are actually not in bad shape. So, of course, they have a quiet neighbor over there. He's a business, so he's not messing with it. See, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people buried in here, but we just don't know where they are. So we can't do anything. Yeah, this actually has been moved, I think, since we were here last year. That's the one.
Dean Center.
Yeah.
Dean?
We wrote it down as Ann, but it actually looks like something. Looks like
Jean.
Jean or
That looks like an
A. Well, anyways,
E-A-N, but
it's been totally moved. That's definitely a headstone,
yeah.
but it needs to go back. I probably was right there, but I don't know what's going on with it. It got moved because it wasn't like that last year. It was all over, but it wasn't like, I don't know. That's got to be a priority because that one's a mess. Here's another footstone. Footstone for a gravestone that is no longer here. So, we're pretty much in the same situation we were last year. Same things need repairing.
Yeah.
Like I say, the DPW should be able to sort of look just like tidy it up. They don't need to hire somebody.
Right.
We're done here with Center. Had the same problems, still has the same problems that it had last year. So we're going to work on that. Now we're going to head to Hills Farms Cemetery on Derry Road, and that one has 5 plots at the far end that actually are town cemeteries, and we did just recently find the deed for that, so we're just going to take a look because we've never really looked at it before. We didn't know about them, so that's it. All right, so we're in the older section of Hills Farm Cemetery, which is a private cemetery, does still accept burials, and is managed by the trustees. We recently became aware that there were 5 plots in this cemetery along here that were deeded to the town back in the late 1800s. So we're just here to take a look because we've never really paid any attention because we didn't know these plots existed. So that's what we're looking at now. And we don't really know how many people are actually buried here. Somebody told me at least 2, so I don't know. But I see the biggest problem is overhanging branches, and that's about it, because I don't see any. We have this fellow here. Okay. And there are no other headstones. So I'm assuming that maybe these 2 headstones are the 2 that I think it was Dave O'Conis told me that there were at least 2 buried there.
Okay.
This would be the area where the plots are, so they're in good shape, so that's not a problem. And the only thing would be if we can trim those back. I don't see that as a particularly high priority for the DPW. I don't know how y'all feel, but I kind of would like to see some of the damaged stones fixed before they worry about that. What do you
Agreed.
think?
Yeah, I agree.
So
There's no stones
stones,
here
nope.
that it's being
So-
covered, so I mean these.
yeah, I
if
mean,
they don't do it for another 2 years, then it's going to get bad.
yeah,
but-
this one, I would imagine this would be a good idea to get that out of there. Yeah. That's it for our first visit to the town graves in the Hills Farm Cemetery. And that concludes our annual cemetery tour for 2025. I want to say goodbye from the cemetery trustees for this year's annual walkthrough of the town cemeteries. And we wound up here at Hills Farms because we now have 5 plots at the very back of the cemetery that we need to watch out for.